G'day, David Marshall here, and another Deep and Meaningful. Not quite going to get onto a topic yet. Well, it's a sort of a topic. It's another playlist that I'd like you to have a look at. I'm noticing that some people are touching my testimony list, but not really going through right in deep in it to have a look at the testimonies that I previewed. So, what is this playlist? I've just named it David Wilkerson. David Wilkerson was a pastor that wrote a very, let's say bestseller book called The Cross and the Switchblade. He was a Bible Belt pastor, fresh out of seminary school, and goes to New York, right into where the drugs, the gangbangers, AIDS, the filth, because no one would go to them. And he just kept on getting at them. Great book, great movie with Pat Boone and Eric Estrada. Catch it wherever you can. But David Wilkerson, a lot of people say, was the prophet to America, and you can Google and you can find things that he turned around and had a prophetic dream, a prophecy, a vision in regards to America and what was coming. And unfortunately, he had a tragic death in 2011. Some people said it was an act of God. Some say he was so full of pain and hurt that he took his own life. Well, I don't think he'd take his own life with his wife and another woman in his car. Personally, I believe he just got snatched by God, just took him home, or the devil interacted, but I don't think he took his own life. He wasn't that much in despair, not this man. But either way, he has passed on. But his word, because he preached about God, still goes on. So I don't really remember which parts I have, just little clips from the three that I'm going to put in the playlist are there to get you to have a taste. I want you to listen to some of these little clips, and I'll get back to you.
See, Paul had lived his whole religious life under religious formulas. He'd lived with these man-made schemes. He had seen teachings that accommodated the weaknesses and the sinfulness of backslidden Jews. He'd had his stomach full of it. He said, I have nothing to do with that. It attracts the multitudes, yes. But he said, one day Jesus came and revealed himself in me. Paul put all of the formulas aside as dung, as garbage. Paul, by his own confession, said, I'm determined to go forth to fully preach the gospel of Christ in power and demonstration of the Holy Ghost. And unless the gospel is preached in power and demonstration of the Holy Ghost, it's not the gospel. It's not the gospel. And sadly, multitudes in America don't even know what the gospel is because they haven't heard it. Paul boasted unashamedly, we preach Christ crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness. Paul said, now, brethren, the Jews and the Greeks are trying to make us accommodate our message now. The Jews want us to give them signs, and the Greeks want wisdom. They want miracles over here, and over here they just want 10 steps on how to cope. They want wisdom. But Paul said there will be no accommodating. Let them call our preaching foolishness. Let them say it's out of date, that it's not contemporary. He said, I've determined to preach nothing among you except Jesus Christ and Him crucified.
So yeah, very powerful preaching. Gets to the point where not only he's shouting but crying because his heart is so much like the Father and he can see what's happening to the world today. And that's where I'm at. I've got to tell you, friend, I'm going to use this line now. I was going to wait till I do my testimony, but I don't really care if you hate me now, because I'd rather you hate me now, get an idea what Jesus is, so then eventually you can avoid what's coming, finally bend your knee to Jesus, and then thank me in eternity. Instead, if you don't hate me now, I have not done the right thing by you in regards to getting you to understand what this following Jesus is all about. So I hope you enjoyed those little clips and that you'll go on to look at the clips I've got on my playlist and maybe even look at investigating yourself. a bit more about David Wilkerson and what he has to say about these perilous times. And remember, I'm David Marshall, and I'm walking with you.